What is the crack, everyone? B2B Sports, we are back. Sam is here, as always.
As always.
Lots and lots of sport going on at the minute. We've got Champions League kicking off right now. Bayern Munich, Man United. How's that? How's that going for you, Sam?
That's what I'm just about to look at. Is worried. Oh, nice. It's 2-0 Bayern.
Oh, classic. Isn't even half time yet.
No, it's 37 minutes in.
Oh, dear. It's Harry Kane scored.
No, Sane and Gnabry. They've only had 3 shots.
Oh dear. I
They
was
scored
about to pose
twice.
the question, how many will Bayern put past you? But
I mean, at the end of the day, we've both had 3 shots. They've just scored 2 of them.
do
What the fuck's going on there?
you want to? Where do you want to start? Do you want to start at Man United?
Fine,
Get it
fine.
out of the way.
Just might as well get it out of the way. It's been a nice shit show. I don't really know what's going on. I mean, nothing's clicked. No game have I thought this is this is actually great. The only great bit of football I've seen us play is the first half against Tottenham. That was the only bit of good football I've seen us play so far. Um, and I don't know. I don't understand why. Casemiro doesn't seem to be playing how he played last season. His form was a bit off. Um, but we sold Fred, so I
No.
mean, who else can put there? We've got McTominay, who's actually playing out of this world for Scotland.
Yeah.
Should probably get a bit more game time, I think, in terms of form wise. Um, and yeah, we're still trying to click up front. Rashford and Bruno Fernandes are still not clicking. It's just
Hoyland looks positive, but
it does. It
Hoyland looks
does.
positive. But again, it's you've you look at Man United's midfield on paper, and I think Gary Neville said it at the start of the season. Like they've got one of the best midfields on paper. Like
Yeah.
I think there was a debate between Liverpool's midfield and Man United's midfield, but that seems to be, the defense is also very questionable. But the midfield is really struggling, really,
It's not
really.
bad. I don't understand what's going on. It doesn't. They don't seem to have played with each other before.
It's like Bruno.
Um,
See Bruno's, the clips on Twitter going around of Brighton passing it all over, like all
yeah,
around the park against Man United, and Bruno's head's just dropping because he can't do anything about it.
can't do anything about it, and it's just it's sad to watch at the moment. And I mean, it was typical with 2-0 down to Bayern. That was likely going to happen.
Yeah.
Um, it was never a doubt really. I say that now, we'll probably come back and win 3-2. But
Don't
like,
speak too soon.
it still doesn't make sense why we didn't. If this is all we're gonna be achieving, why didn't we break the bank for Harry Kane when he was available?
He
What
was there,
what
mate.
what was the reasoning we wouldn't? Because I'm pretty sure if he had to choose, it probably would have been a Premier League team.
He would have got that record
Um,
as well, wouldn't he?
exactly.
Chasing that.
So I think it's definitely a missed opportunity. Um, but I don't know. We seem to have fucked it.
Mate,
I think,
you've got Sancho as well kicking off with Ten Hag. Apparently he's on FIFA
yeah.
in pro clubs, apparently, according to
I
Twitter.
don't. I saw that just before. But I mean, if he's not going to get a game, might as well be playing FIFA. Um, yeah, I don't understand. It's difficult because I like Ten Hag to a point at the moment. I think he's taken it a bit extreme in some ways, isolating players and not really bringing everyone to it. It seems very odd. I think, um, but again, I think he does need time.
Hmm.
We won a trophy last year with him. We can't forget that, and it takes people time to get as put a team together. I mean,
Yes.
I think the worst bit about the Premier League is lots of managers don't get the time they need to actually make the team theirs. Um, and that's probably half the reason some of these managers do fail is for
Yeah.
that reason. And
Right.
when
So
you're a club like Man United, you have most of the world calling for your head. It's tough. So I think he's in a very difficult position at the moment. I don't know if he'll get the backing.
no,
Um,
that's the question with Man United, isn't it? The Glazers is always
yeah,
going to be a bit of a problem.
yeah.
Um,
So who knows? We shall see. I mean, my only solace at the moment is Chelsea aren't doing any better.
I mean, it's a battle between who's the worst out of the two at the minute.
Pretty much. And I don't know who's winning at this point.
No, I don't know. Man United are 1 point ahead of Chelsea in the league. Man United 13th, Chelsea 14th.
Yeah.
Absolutely atrocious start from both clubs. I mean, the Jackson meme, if you've seen it, floating about, that is so savage, but so funny at the same time. He missed an absolute sitter. He shanked it on his left foot. He's gone so far wide, and I don't know if you've seen it, but the goal keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And they've like
300%.
300 something odd percent. They've had to make the goal bigger for the ball to go into the back of the net. So savage. I hope you don't watch that because his confidence will be shot if you see.
I know. I
Um,
know. But like, people are just too savage.
People are so savage, especially on Twitter. But Chelsea, I've again, it seems to be going the same way as it did last season. We can't score a goal. We can't hit a barn door. We create a lot of chances, but we just can't take them. Again, we've had about 10 or 11 players out through injury. I think the staff, the backroom staff, need to be investigated here because how are we getting so many injuries? Like, are they not?
I
Are they,
know.
the physiotherapists, Sam, are they not like warming up the players correctly or whatever? But I don't know. The luck can't be that bad, surely. Like every time we sign someone, he's injured. Like it's
Yeah. You'd think it would be easier. But like, yeah, you have had a couple of kind of long season. Like Nkunku is out for a long time.
a long time.
It's not going well.
And also, what
Um,
pisses me off as well is that every player that leaves Chelsea somehow turns like sick. Callum Hudson-Odoi scores a banger Monday evening. You
the
got
fact that you sold him for 3 million is criminal.
you got Giroud and Pulisic, who you're doing well for Milan. You know,
Well,
it,
I think Giroud's a difficult one. Giroud did well for Chelsea. He just never was never given a proper chance.
yeah, true that, true that.
He was your best striker, and he rode the bench most of the time.
I don't know. It's just every time we give away a player, they just seem to do well. Like Werner. Werner's got his scoring boots back on at
Like,
Leipzig. He still misses sitters from now and then, but he scores more
but
than
he's at least he's scoring the others.
yeah.
He's not offside anymore, is he?
No, definitely not. But yeah, Chelsea and Man United, bit of a horror show at the minute. Um, yeah, we'll see if they can turn it around. But Spurs, I'd like to talk about a bit about Spurs because they've surprised me this season. They're sitting on 13 points. They did turn it around against Sheffield United in 2 goals in added time at the weekend. But what are your thoughts on
Ridiculous.
Spurs so far this season? And
I
Ange,
mean, it's Big Ange. Like what he's doing is pretty epic. Um, Obviously now living up in Scotland, there are a lot of Celtic fans who love Big Ange.
Big Ange.
I worked with somebody, Erin. She thought he'd do very well from the start, and she wasn't lying. He's brought, I think, a good culture to the squad, and it's tough to say they're looking better without Harry Kane than with him in some ways.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know
you're
if that's
right.
because he's left or it's just because the new system under Ange. But they're looking unstoppable.
James
I
Madison's
think they're yeah, and the fact that they bought him 40 million, that's probably cheap. Obviously, they're buying from a pretty much relegated team, so um, that's probably a cracking deal for them. The fact that
yeah.
Spurs are the ones that picked him up and nobody else is crazy as well. But yeah, I think they could finish high this year if it keeps
Yeah.
going the way it's going.
Shout out to them and also shout out to West Ham as well. They're doing really, really well so far this year. When they've lost Declan Rice. So yeah, shout out to West Ham. We've touched on it before, but the Champions League is back. Obviously, Man United playing Bayern. Samsbury keeping a keen eye on that one. We had some madness last night. The Lazio goalkeeper that scored in the 94th minute to equalise against Atletico. Seems that was a proper little
What
striker's header. That was.
honestly, he was apparently he scored one before for Bayern Munich, like B team, in the lower leagues. So he knows what he's doing, but he's run in there. That's some of the best movement I've seen from a striker, let alone a goalkeeper. Um, so yeah, what a finish!
What a great finish.
95th minute.
I didn't watch any of the Milan Newcastle game, but I did see that Rafael Leao like took on the whole Newcastle like team and then
Did
tried to attempt like a back heel. Um, I
oh
don't know
yeah,
what he was playing at. He almost like Mario Balotelli coming into his head, but if he'd scored that, that'd have been amazing.
it would have been. It would have been cracking. I mean, that's a great result for Newcastle, to be honest, in that group because it's a
Taking in nil
disgusting group.
draw away, wasn't it, in Milan as well?
Yeah,
So definitely take
the
a point
San
away from
Siro
it.
is ridiculous. And for the comeback into the Champions League, it's not the worst way to start.
No, definitely not.
I think they were dominated, but like I say, it's all about the score.
Definitely. And Joao Felix can play ball, mate. Again, another one.
Yeah,
Another player that
yeah.
has gone from Chelsea that bagged a brace. Again, I didn't see the game, but Barcelona made it look quite convincing in the end, didn't they?
Oh yeah, 5-0. Yeah, João Felix can kick a ball. Doesn't have to get suspended 2 minutes into his first game.
Oh
Or
mate, do you remember that?
um,
Oh
yeah,
god, bring back night. Looks so good
some of the
for half
weirdest
an hour.
bit of business. Yeah, no, it's. I think Barcelona looking good again.
Yeah,
Looking back
they
in, to
look
be
really
fair,
good.
a rebuilt team. I think Xavi's done bits there.
I tell you what, who is an absolute baller as well. That is quickly becoming one of the best midfielders in world football, if not the best already. It's like Rodri. Did you see Rodri's goal yesterday?
Yeah,
So good. He just class like rolled it into the bottom corner. He's scoring
mm,
goals like left, right, and centre recently. Do you think?
honestly,
Like picking up
it's,
goals.
it's he's playing, so he's probably one of the best midfielders in the world, like you said. Another one the same, like Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, he won it.
He's just scored another winner in the 94th minute
I mean,
tonight.
it was a tap in. So
It was an absolute tap in, yes,
I'm
but they
seeing
all
like
count.
yeah, I'm seeing people like saying he's the Messiah, but I looked at the guy. It was a tap in, but
Yeah,
I'm
and
not.
also the guy next to him would have scored it if he hadn't.
Yeah, the
So
guy next
it's
to him
not
would have
like
scored it. It was an amazing goal, but he scored 6 and 6, and he scored like what 3 last minute goals now. So
yeah,
I mean, he just fits that club perfectly, doesn't he? Like
yeah,
literally, like
yeah.
insane player.
And you don't get many people who go to Real Madrid consistently, then start and consistently be one of their best players.
Yeah, yeah.
That's quite rare.
No,
Seeing as they're a team full of insane midfielders, and you put him in, and he's now one of the better ones. It's just
yeah.
it's kind of mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling that he's English as well. The fact that we have him as like against
He's unreal.
Scotland, he was unreal.
Mm, mm.
Um, and to have him and Foden with each other, it's just it's fun to think about,
Maybe Birmingham were right to retire his number.
isn't it? Everyone's going to retire a shirt number.
Literally.
Number 5's going to get retired.
Oh dear. But yeah, that wraps up football. I think Arsenal also 1-0 up against PSV. I think Saka
3 up,
scored 2-0 up.
3.
Right. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. Fair enough.
They scored Saka, Trossard, and Jesus.
Making light work of PSV, which they should do really.
Yeah,
Right, NFL. Let's jump into a bit of NFL because following suit, both of our teams are having shockers. What is going on here? Vikings
not great
0-2,
stats.
New England Patriots 0-2. What do you make of the Pats start to their season so far?
What I would say is I think we've got a better 0-2 than the Vikings do. I think we've played better
Okay, all right.
personally. Obviously, some bias in that, but Mac Jones has been balling out. He's significantly improved himself from last season.
hmm
Um, I think he's scored every touchdown when we're in the red zone so far. He's just our O line is shit at the moment. He's getting too many pressures, and I mean he's slinging it. He's going to different wide receivers. He's trying it all, and it's not quite clicking. Again, we played surprisingly well against the Eagles. Didn't start off well. We had a bit of a comeback, and it ended up all right. Again, needed another comeback against the Miami, in which we did stage a little bit of a comeback again. Another Bill Belichick is again recreating the game
Yeah, so
in special teams as he always does, with an insane play by the special by field goal blockers. Block that field goal,
that's good.
insane. But yeah, it's a bit underwhelming. Um, I think the fact that we played two of the better teams in the NFL doesn't
Mm,
help. I think it might help with confidence. I mean, the Eagles are arguably second best team in the competition. Um, Miami are arguably one of the top ones in our division
yeah, it's
at the
true.
moment. Um, so yeah, I think it's promising yet still disappointing.
It's,
Um,
it's tough, isn't it? Because in the NFL, you only have 17 games. So if you get off to a bad start, you're going to get the haters jumping on the bandwagon saying tank
yeah,
for this player or your
yeah,
season's done for. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's done for 0-2. I think you
mm,
can easily make a comeback, especially if you get big wins against divisional opponents. You're well in the
yeah.
mix again. Um, so yeah, I would say that, and also shout out to Belichick with his sassy throwing of the flag. That was so funny.
What a guy! He's
He had
doing
it in his
bits.
sock, and he was waiting the whole time. He was
Yeah.
waiting for them to like move the chains, mark the ball, and he just dashed it on the floor. So funny. What a guy. Um, when you were talking about the Pats issues with the O line, I think that's exactly the same with the Vikings. To be honest, Kirk Cousins is getting hit way too much. The only difference between the Vikings and the Pats, I'd say, is that we're just giving cheap turnovers away. We've given like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it must be like 5 or 6 turnovers away in two
Mm,
games. Running backs fumbling the ball, or you know, you know, strip sacks from letting the defense just get straight to Kirk. But I would say we've been playing well. I think there is definitely room for improvement still, but I mean the first game we were under par. Like we let
yeah.
Baker Mayfield flipping run right through us. I
Yeah.
mean,
That was an idea.
um, we played better against the Eagles, but again, Kirk was under too much pressure, and we were our own downfall really in that game. But we have signed a new O line tackle called Dalton Reisner, who apparently was a big get. He was one of the better O line guys in free agency. So hopefully that'll add a little bit of protection to Kirk. Um, and yeah, we've got a massive game against the Chargers coming up this weekend. Both teams are 0-2.
Yeah,
Both
but the
teams,
fact the Chargers are 0-2 is only just.
yeah. I
I think
mean,
they've lost two very close games.
look at Bengals are 0-2. Bengals,
Yeah.
like everyone loves Joey Burrow. Like I think I tipped them to get to the Super Bowl, the start of the year.
Yeah.
So
Well, to be fair, the Bengals went 0-2 last year and made the AFC
yeah,
Championship.
it's true. It is true.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Exactly that, Sam. Um, I guess we should talk about Aaron Rodgers. I actually do. We've talked a lot of shit about him, but I actually do feel a bit sorry for him.
I mean,
Or do you
it's
not?
tough. I don't know if obviously I feel bad. It's not a good injury. It's not a. It's not something you'd wish to happen on somebody, but it's just typical.
Hmm.
He's gone away on this darkness retreat, had to decide where he's going, decide on the Jets, brought over players from the Packers that Alan Hazard and this mentality that they're going to win games. 4 snaps in, he does his Achilles, right? And it's pretty much a season-ending injury.
Yeah, definitely.
The fact that he's coming out and saying like, "Oh, it's not, I might still play," it's like he's probably not.
No.
That's unlikely that he's going to play this season. And then for him also to be brought out the game, and then for his backup to win the game.
What is his backup? Who is he called?
Is it Zach something?
Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I mean Zach Wilson was slinging it a bit last year, so we know he can play ball. But yeah, he comes out and wins it against the bloody Bills.
Yeah, what are the chances?
Like, where does that come from? I know it was a walk off, kind of touchdown in overtime, but still, what a way to do it.
I think he had a stinker though in the game this weekend. I don't know what the score was, but I think he they lost anyway. The Jets lost. Um, but yeah,
Okay.
it's an interesting one. You know, it's almost like I heard Pat McAfee talk about it. It's almost like Aaron Rodgers, you know, is such a spiritual guy, and
Mm,
he always, you know, believed he was going to be like a one club person. And then
yeah,
obviously his time at Green Bay came to an end, and he decided to move teams. And then on the first game, on the like the fourth snap, he didn't get to throw a pass. He's out.
yeah,
It's almost like, is this like the universe trying to tell him something that maybe
exactly.
you shouldn't have moved on? Um,
It's just tough. And I
I
think
do feel
that's
for him though. I do feel for him.
yeah, it's hard. But I mean, he'll come back. He'll probably play next year,
Do you
have an
reckon
okay year, and
at
then
39
retire.
years of age, do you reckon he'll come back and still sling it like he was?
I think so. I don't think he'll sing it the same way. I don't think he'll be as good. I say that it's going to come back and win MVP again, but um, yeah, I still think he'll come back.
Yeah, fair enough. The Cowboys are looking very good as well. They've had two pretty impressive wins. Was it 40-0 in the first game?
Yeah,
Uh,
against the Giants,
against the
the
Giants.
Giants were looking to go in the same way the second week,
Again,
and
they came
they
back.
bloody well come back and won.
I mean, Daniel Jones got paid this off season, and he
Yeah,
redeemed himself a little bit. They had a stinker, yeah, as you said, against the
yeah,
Cowboys, but yeah, they redeemed themselves in their second game. It's just so like I love the NFL because anyone can win. You know,
mm.
anyone can beat anyone. The
No, it's
Dolphins
been
looking good.
yeah. Dolphins are looking very good still. Obviously, I think the Chiefs are having a bit of a slow start, but
Bit of a
have won
wobble.
both games. Won both games. The Ravens are looking decent.
Yep. Good.
Um, the Lions are looking good again. I know they lost to the Seahawks this week, but they look pretty decent. Um, so yeah, a lot of teams still win it. You've got what's his name, Russell Wilson, um,
Hail Mary.
scoring
Yeah.
Hail Marys and then missing the 2 point to still lose the game.
That was the
But
jammiest Hail Mary as well I've ever
it
seen.
was
It's like flipping how didn't that was like part of the NFL script. That was like what was that was
honestly absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, and then you got obviously Nick Chubb not having his best day,
Yeah. Yeah.
having his knee basically snapped in two. Instead of bending the normal way, he basically got a helmet into the left side of his knee, and his knee just crumbled that way.
Oh
It
mate.
did not look nice. So yeah, it's I think it's probably a season ending. Probably done most of his knee kind of collateral ligaments, and so yeah, it's not looking good.
Gonna take a long time to recover from that one. I've
I
seen
think so.
I've seen an argument recently between sort of NFL media and NFL players about the turf that they use,
Yes.
and about
So
whether
they obviously use like not real grass.
yeah, yeah. How
So
would you is it 5G? Is it artificial but with
yeah,
the black little beads in it, would you say? Is that what
I
it
think so. Because
is?
normally you see when they do like a toe tap catch or anything like that,
Yeah, yeah.
it's you can see it kind of like spray up. So it seems like it's like that's what it is.
Hmm.
Um, so in terms of when you basically ground your foot into that, it does not move. In terms of any kind of force going through, it just doesn't help. It has no give. Um, with real grass, obviously, if you get your studs in, it can move it. You slip over a bit more, but all that force is being put into something rather than just stopping.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a lot safer. It's one of the reasons I think, like Messi, he requested that like they got pitches that were grass,
Oh, is
and
it? Okay.
um, so it's a lot safer for players. You get a lot less of these ACL injuries. Obviously, this ACL injury had nothing to do with kind of the turf in that
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Um, Aaron Rodgers, to a point, I feel like the way his foot was angled, the grass isn't gonna make too much difference there. I think it just snapped. But at the end of the day, it's just safer for players and there's no reason why they couldn't. They all make enough money that they could have
Yeah, definitely.
the best of the best.
We see like
But
videos of NFL games from about 20 years ago, and they were playing on. It didn't even look like 5G AstroTurf. It literally looked like it looked like I don't know, like a clay, like US Open Masters like court. Like it looked so
yeah,
rock solid, like not safe to play on at all. Like if you got
exactly.
sliding across there, you'd do some serious damage. But yeah, I agree. It needs to be made safer. And do you remember the NFL Vikings game that we saw last year? The Vikings Saints at NFL London. Do you
Yeah,
remember that the Vikings player Lewis Seen? His body was going one way, and when he planted his leg went the other way, and that's an
yeah.
artificial pitch, isn't it? Tottenham's ground. So
I think so. I can't remember, to be honest,
because
but it was bad.
they have the football pitch, don't they? And then underneath it is the NFL pitch, and I'm pretty sure the NFL pitch is AstroTurf, but I wonder if that
Yeah,
injury could have been, he might still have really hurt himself, but I wonder if that could have been, less serious if it was maybe grass.
I think it should be changed at most places, but unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be much going into it. I've not heard much.
No, no. Did you watch the F1 this past weekend?
I didn't watch all of it. I caught mostly highlights, but a bit ridiculous.
I mean, it was the best race weekend of the year,
Yeah.
like so far. We actually had a non-Red Bull winner in Carlos Sainz, and he also got pole as well. Don't forget that. But the Red Bulls just didn't look at it for the first time this year, and it actually made the whole weekend so
Mm.
much more enjoyable. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's good for the season. So much better that these teams can actually, some other team can win. Um, I think at the end of the day, George Russell had a stinker. I don't mind it. I'm all for it.
You
At
don't
the end
like
of
the
the
guy,
day,
do you? Poor George. Poor George.
I have no real feelings towards him, but yeah, can't be asked. But at the end of the day, um, good win for Science, good win for Ferrari. I mean, it's still going to be wrapped up pretty
Yeah,
soon
I mean, potentially.
anyway. Yeah, exactly. So it makes no difference at the end of the day. But it's good for the season. It's a race that it desperately needed.
100%. And the fact that Liam Lawson knocked out Verstappen in Q2 was like so like picture for perfect almost because
Yeah.
he was not never meant to be in the F1 this year anyway. And also like Carlos Sainz's race IQ to like give Lando the DRS to stop the Mercedes. He's pretty clever, so I'll give that to him. Definitely give that to him.
I'm just going to put out United scored, by the way. It's 2-1.
2-1. Oh,
Yeah,
interesting. You scored. Who
coming
scored?
back. I don't know. I didn't have it up, and then I've just put it up, and now we scored one. It's been 4 minutes. I don't understand what's just happened. We must have scored in the first minute
You take it.
half time. I'll take it. Yeah,
I'll go
love
Rasmus
it.
Hoyland, mate. Hoyland.
I hope so.
That'll be a good
Was
goal.
it?
I don't know. I don't know.
No.
Want to have a
Who
look?
knows? I got it here. It was Rasmus Hoyland.
Oh, he's only gone and done it.
Only gone and done it. What a guy.
No, I like him. He looks like a big physical presence and someone that defenders might be a little bit intimidated by. So
Hopefully.
fair play, Man United. Let's hope they can get well. Why am I saying let's hope? Nah, let's hope they get battered. Come on.
Well, I mean, I think there's
Yeah.
about to be a check for a handball, and possibly it could be given against Ericsson. I think it's harsh, but at
Penalty.
the end of the day,
Free kick.
it's not been given yet. It's gone to VAR, I think. But he's headed it from like a few feet away, and he's coming down from his landing, and it just hits his hand. But again, who knows what the handball law is these days?
Yeah, who knows? It's all subjective, isn't it?
Um,
Begs
I
Harry
think
Kane.
definitely it definitely could be given. But again, on the day, I think it would be harsh, but that's probably some bias coming in there.
I think it will be harsh. It's defo a penalty. It's
Oh,
stop.
referee's gone over to have a look.
Oh mate, when they go to the screen, that's it. That's
He's
done.
prancing over. He's prancing over.
Harry Kane is slotting that penalty in top bins, mate.
Well, this should just be surely this should be something that is easy to. I think it's going to give it.
I mean, sure, yeah.
To be honest,
In the case of handball, surely it's either it's a penalty or not. Like it's handball or not. Like, why did they have to go to
yeah, he has headed it directly at his hand. He's given it.
He's giving
It's bullshit.
in the space of 2 minutes we've seen Sam go from
What's happening here?
hopeful back down to reality.
Honestly, it's literally been like 2 seconds. Obviously, Harry Kane's taking it. That's bullshit.
I mean, he's going to put this away. Come on, let's be real.
It's Harry Kane. Like, he only misses in the Euros. It's fine. Or
Against
the World Cup. Yeah. He only misses in massive games. This is not a massive game for Bayern. I mean, the first goal, Onana should have scored. Not sure scored, should have saved it. Basically palmed it into the bottom corner.
I don't rate him. Don't rate him at all.
He's not had the best of starts. But neither did De Gea. And
No,
look
true.
what happened there.
Have you seen Arsenal pick David Raya over Ramsdale?
No. Don't really know why. He scored it.
He scored it. Good pen, good fin.
That was fine, yeah, bottom corner.
Bottom
It
corner.
was a good penalty. And then I went the right way, but it went in, so
Oh dear. Never mind, Sam.
maybe I should just not watch it, and then we do better when I don't watch it.
I mean, yeah, you didn't
Honestly,
watch it, they scored.
literally.
Are you superstitious like that?
Sometimes if most of the time when I watch United, we play absolutely awfully.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure that's the case.
Always.
Normally, if I'm wearing the kit, we play awfully. I very rarely actually watch the game with my United kit on because I just know we play so badly.
Mate, it's like the players know that Sam Comrich is wearing
Yeah,
our kit, and that's it. That's a bad
honestly,
omen.
it is. I can't Snapchat anyone to show them that I'm wearing it because nobody can know. It's just it's not worth it. It's not worth the pain.
Oh dear.
But
Funny.
then at the moment we're doing just as badly when I don't wear it, so who cares?
Exactly. It's funny how we think like that because I think about that about the Chelsea game
Yeah,
sometimes. If I don't watch it, they'll do better. But
yeah,
in reality, they can do exactly the same. It's
yeah.
what it's meant to be.
Just
Um,
absolute bullshit.
but yeah, going back to F1, Lance Stroll had a massive crash in qualifying. His car was in bits in Singapore. Do you think he deserves a seat in F1, or is it just off Daddy's money essentially?
I don't think it's gonna. As long as he's racing for a team that his dad owns, it's never
Yeah,
going to be if he's deserving or not. He's always going to be racing.
yeah, true.
I think it's. I don't think he's a bad driver. I think there are other drivers that probably deserve a spot, at least a chance that he has. I'm not going to say over him. Oh my fucking god, they've hit the post. We just
It
got
went,
absolutely just
went,
split open there. That was just awful to watch.
oh mate,
Um,
floodgates are open now. That's it.
honestly, but I think there are people like Liam Lawson who probably aren't going to have seats next year that probably should.
Mm,
Um, but again, I don't think he's not going to be racing until he does something super wrong.
mm,
Obviously, he crashed a car, but I think that was pushing to the limit, which is I don't know. It's tough. And I think Aston Martin have had a very odd middle of the year
yeah.
where they've not really been too competitive, and when they have, it's not really gone well. So I feel like their expectations are now lower anyway. I think the beginning of the season they were really high, and he was performing well. He was performing as well, almost as well as Alonso. But yeah, I think at the end of the day,
Mm.
I don't think he's going anywhere soon.
No, unfortunately not. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. Oscar Piastri has signed a new deal with McLaren to 2026. Probably deserved on that one. He's had a good season so far in his rookie year.
yeah,
Alonso's helmet for the Japanese Grand Prix this weekend is absolute fire. So if
So
you
nice.
haven't seen it, check it out. And also going back to George Russell, apparently someone on Google Maps in Singapore named the corner where he
Yes.
crashed as like George's corner or something like that, or
George's favourite corner.
George's favorite corner. Yeah, so
So good.
a little bit muggy, but
That's a good level of trolling. That
yeah, that
love
is
that.
great level of trolling. To be fair, respect
Yeah.
that. Um, any tennis news this week? We obviously, since we last spoke, the US Open is concluded. Coco Gauff won, and so did Djokovic won the
Yeah.
men's titles respectively.
Yeah. Nothing new really there. Coco Gauff had a nice comeback win. It was good to see her win. I think she's been touted to win a Grand Slam for a while, and
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people have been saying she will never do it or downplaying it, and I think it's good for her that she's won, and she deserves it. I think she's been awesome. Djokovic again, just what can you do? He's now 124. He's not doesn't have any look of slowing down. Um, yeah, he's just unbelievable.
You gotta
Uh,
respect. You gotta respect
oh
it.
yeah, 100%. I think that he's definitely. I think statistically and longevity, he's definitely the probably the best tennis player there's ever been.
That's what Nadal said in the week, didn't he? He said,
Yeah,
he said on, he's a man of statistics, Nadal, and he said
yeah,
you've got to say that Djokovic is the greatest. It's just
he
on
has
based
to.
on that alone.
If that is the biggest goal is to win Grand Slams, he's won more of them by a couple than
Mm.
anyone else. You can't really dispute it. He's been number one for pretty much the longest. He's um, got so many other records as well. So yeah, I think I still think he'll win more. I think he probably
Yeah,
will if he plays Australia, he'll probably win Australia, which is his favourite. Um, but yeah, it's tough to see him doing so well because but seeing Alcaraz being the only one that seems to be able to match him.
challenge him. Yeah,
Yeah,
anyway.
because their Wimbledon was insane. The Cincinnati Open was a ridiculous end to that tournament. I think that rivalry is good. We need more of them.
Yeah, because obviously Medvedev doesn't compete. He obviously got beaten straight sets, didn't he, in the US?
Yeah, he just he didn't turn up, and he can turn up.
Mm.
So yeah, it's a tough watch tennis at the moment with not enough people vying for that top
Yeah.
spot.
I
But
saw.
it's still I think it's fine to watch. I think what Djokovic's doing is insane and
Yeah.
fair play.
I saw talking about Medvedev, I saw on Twitter that he created his basically he created the best tennis player. So he used different aspects
Mm,
of the game and put his favorite to that to that
yeah.
topic. So let's do it for you, Sam, because
Oh,
you're a tennis advocate. So
fair play.
I'm gonna say you can't say the same player for all of them. There has to be you have to
Okay.
have a bit of a mix. So if you were to pick to have the greatest forehand in tennis, what player would you choose for that one?
Oh, greatest
Forehand.
forehand.
Who would you have?
I'll have Del Potro.
Del Potro, rockets, mate.
Who just has a cannon. Um,
All right,
his
fair
cross
enough.
court shots is ridiculous. Yeah.
Backhand. I think I know what you're going to go. What are you going to say with this one? Backhand.
Backhand. Stan Wawrinka.
Wow, I thought you were going to go Federer.
Now
Stan.
Wawrinka technically Wawrinka has a better single-handed backhand than Federer. Federer's is prettier, but Wawrinka's is ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Serve.
Oh, that's a tough one.
There's some booming serves. We can go past and present. I'm not saying that you have to. Obviously, you've gone Del Potro, so I'm not saying you have to go
Del
anyone.
Potro's coming back out of retirement. He's been
Is
out
it?
there. He's coming to play again.
What a guy! What a guy!
I think that's what. But if it's still past, like Andy Roddick was one of my favourite serves.
Yeah,
I I think currently at the moment, Kyrgios probably has one of the better serves, more consistent serves
So what you say,
going.
Andy Roddick or Kyrgios? That one.
We'll go Kyrgios because we'll go with players who are playing.
Okay, Kyrgios. All right. Return. Who's got the best return? What would you like your return to be based on?
That's tough because for me, I think Djokovic probably edges it in terms of his return is insane. But I give a shout out to Murray for that
Go on,
because
Murray. Murray can have
I
that
think
one, mate.
Murray's was almost equally as good.
Murray can
Um,
have that one.
I like give it to Murray. Yeah.
Net game. So up close and personal with the net. Who are you taking?
Oh, who's good at the net? Bloody hell.
I mean, most players good at net these days, isn't there? Really?
Hmm. There are some that are shit. I have to put that out there. Oh, that's hard. Not many of them play too close to the net. Um, can't even think. Monfils.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's silky smooth, like him at the
Right.
net.
Fair play. Speed. I mean, there's one that comes to mind straight away.
And probably Alcaraz.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
He's
say.
just rapid. I don't think anyone can match his speed at the moment. Um, yeah, too
And
good.
mental toughness is the last one. And yeah,
Mental toughness, I think Djokovic has to take that. I think the amount of shit he's been given throughout his career, um, because everyone has favoured Federer and Nadal, and he leads them both in head to head.
yeah.
He has more Grand Slams than both of them. Um, I think he is the best player I think I've ever seen in a tiebreak.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just doesn't lose them. He just doesn't lose tie breaks. I think he is the best tiebreak statistics in history.
I mean, I'm not surprised, to be honest. Not surprised one bit. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
have to agree. Djokovic is statistically probably one of the best,
he's
especially
just never out of it. Um, I just you can't.
and he gets a lot of shit for his political views and his moral views, and he's still, he had all that time off through COVID
Hmm.
when he couldn't play, and he's come back like nothing, nothing ever happened.
Yeah, so he has the best tiebreaker. He's won 319 and lost 163 tie breaks. Like
Wow.
puts him at a 66% win rate. I mean, Federer was next with 65, but the fact that I think this year um, it would be pretty hard to beat. I think he's either the best 52 week for tie breaks. He won 35, lost 7, which is stupid.
Nice.
Just stupid.
I mean, you've done pretty well there, Sam. To be honest, you've chose all different players there.
That was what you told me to do.
Forehand Del Potro, backhand Wawrinka, serve Kyrgios, return Andy Murray, net game Monfils, speed Alcaraz, and mental toughness Djokovic. If you had to put Federer in one of them, where would you put him? I mean,
Oh,
I would say Federer. He's got all of those, isn't he? That's what made Federer so good. He was just so well balanced in
he
everything.
was so well balanced. I think he was just he wasn't the best at all of them, but he did
Yeah.
all of it so well. Um, I think probably his forehand.
Mm.
I think he's
Placement.
especially in his later years. Surprisingly, when he had the black racket, that Black Wilson, he just slapped it, especially at Wimbledon. Kind of his 2012 win at Wimbledon. I think he was some of his best tennis.
Yeah. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Cricket. There was some Asia Cup humiliation for Sri Lanka. Um, lost by
Just
10
a bit.
wickets. What on earth happened? You texted me about it, and I was like, I didn't know the final result. I didn't know what happened. Yeah, a bit embarrassing, wasn't it, for old Sri Lanka?
Yeah, so obviously it was a big thing that Sri Lanka had beaten Pakistan So there will again be no India-Pakistan final in the Asia Cup. And then they just get rattled. 50-50 all out is ridiculous. Siraj takes 4 wickets and 1 over.
Joke, absolute joke.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well for them with the World Cup coming up. But I mean, England haven't played amazingly. I think we haven't been consistent. What do you think of the whole drop in Roy
I'm not sure about
for
it,
Brit?
I'm not sure
Yeah,
about it.
neither am I.
I like to go for what made them great in the first place.
I
Um,
know, and I
and
think dropping an opener
yeah,
for a
it's
third back, a number three, number four.
but this is what I don't get. So obviously they brought in Ben Stokes, which is understandable. He's
Yeah,
that big. He's that guy. He's that big time player. He proved it, didn't he? When he broke the record, didn't he, for the highest
yeah,
individual ODI score, 182 against New Zealand. So that certainly justifies that move. But you're bringing in experienced guys. You've got Joe Root in there. You've got other guys
mm,
that have played all formats. Jason Roy being one of them, who's an experienced guy who's been there, done that, and I just don't understand removing him. Harry Brook he's definitely got the capability to, to do a job, definitely, but just seems a little bit odd to get rid of him.
yeah.
To
And he
sort of
hasn't proven it in that series with New Zealand. He didn't score
patch.
that many runs. Um, I think and when Jason Roy has proved it, like he's been consistent. Yeah, he'll sometimes get out for that duck, but in the times he didn't, especially when he was opening with Bairstow, quite often they get to 100 not out.
Yeah, exactly. Get some
Which
roll,
so
gets England off to a great start, which is what you need.
exactly. So like we'll see, but I don't know who's going to open with Bairstow now.
Does
Like
does Milan
the
come in
trouble,
three
I,
now?
I was about to say I would have thought they'd put Milan opening with Bairstow now, um, just because of where there's been next person to come up, and then put Brooker in at 3, and then do you put Root 4 and then Stokes 5?
I don't know.
Because putting Root 4 seems an odd place for Root to be in an ODI.
In an ODI, yeah, it's. I mean,
Or I suppose you could put obviously Brook 4,
Brooks 4 or 5. I don't know. It's
but then
interesting. It is
yeah, and like
interesting.
Milan plays very well. Like he scored a century in the last game, and
So good. Yeah,
uh,
he got man of the series as well. He's just really good at white ball cricket. Isn't he? He's just that.
yeah,
Um,
I also find it a bit odd that we're taking Archer as our only traveling. Like he's technically still rehabbing. Like,
yeah,
is
I saw
this
that. That's
what's
yeah,
the point?
he's going as a traveling reserve to India for the World Cup, but he's not fully fit. It's
No,
weird. It's weird. It's a weird decision, especially as
it's
someone who is injury prone. If he
yeah,
does have to come in,
yeah. When he's not ready,
he's not ready. You're risking him at even further injury, which is definitely not what any England fan wants because he's
no,
one of the most biggest prospects England have. So
yeah.
it's a
I
weird
think
one.
it's very odd.
It's a weird
It's
one.
really odd. Don't really agree with that. But at the end of the day, I don't know.
It's
I
not.
just don't know.
It's not down to
Just
us,
don't know.
mate.
No, it'll be interesting to see that the first match of the World Cup for us against New Zealand. See
Yeah.
what happens.
Hmm.
But I mean, to be fair, last World Cup didn't start off the way we wanted it to.
No, definitely not.
Nice golden duck in the whole tournament. It's great, and
Yeah.
that was our great Jason Roy. So
We've been picking him up all this time.
exactly. So yeah, it could go either way, but I'm excited for it to start. I think it'd
Me
be good.
too. Me too. It'll be interesting.
We've got a lot
Got
going. Obviously, the rugby as well.
Rugby World Cup. Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with that as much. But I know that England got off to a good start. They got a win. France looked good. Obviously the
France
usual
is very good.
suspects look good. New Zealand looks good. But yeah, I do need to watch more. To be honest, have you watched
It's
any
good.
more
I've
of it?
watched a couple. Watched the first England game where we had a guy sent off.
Yeah,
Um, Not ideal. But then fly half goes and scores 3 drop goals, one from 50 meters. Like, the fuck are you doing? But he
The
scored all of our
audacity,
points.
mate.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the audacity. But he scored all our points against Argentina, who are a tough side.
Hmm.
And we are going into the World Cup in a very poor position.
Yeah.
Like, our team has not been playing well. Um, and then watched a bit of the Japan game where we played better. Still kicked too much. Didn't and when we did take them on, we actually looked good. But
Yeah.
like Joe Marler got an assist with his head.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like,
Um,
how's that even happened?
exactly. I watched the New Zealand Namibia game,
The
which was
batter.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it, it was like 79-3 or something,
Jesus Christ.
something ridiculous. But no, I think one of the Namibian like broke his ankle and like pretty badly. Could be like a career-ending injury. I think he dislocated and broke his ankle, like both of them.
Nasty.
It was
No.
very nasty. But yeah, France playing ridiculously well, beat New Zealand. Um,
It's home field
Italy,
advantage.
Italy playing well. They've won their first 2 games.
Go on, Italia. They always get the wooden spoon in the Six Nations. So the
I
fact that
know, but they've played pretty well. Um, Australia lost to Fiji
wow,
for the first time in
Fiji are dark horses. I think they're always
well, first win over Australia in like 56 years.
wow. Okay,
Like, they went mad. Absolutely loved it.
right
But
up.
no, it's been a decent World Cup. The games aren't very often.
Because obviously
It's like,
rugby is such a physical sport. They need more time in between games, don't it? It's not like every 2 days.
yeah,
You can't play every like 2 or 3 days.
at the moment they're playing like one game a week
Hmm.
per team, so it is slow.
Yeah.
And I understand it, obviously, but it's hard to get into when there was like no games. I think yesterday and the day before.
Yeah.
And it's tough to
To keep up to the yeah.
keep yourself up with it. But especially when a World Cup one, it's meant to be like it's meant to be like every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels weird when it's not, and I know it's for the safety of the players, but again, it feels weird when it's not.
A couple of other bits of sports news. Russ Cook is still running the length of Africa. Still,
Yeah,
he had a bit of a hiccup with some visa issues. He even got kidnapped at one point,
yeah.
um, but he's still going. So
Somebody crashed his truck.
yeah,
His van. The
he
person fixing their van crashed it.
crashed it. Yeah, loads of times. The pickup guy kept breaking down.
Yeah,
Had to get back on himself so many times, but he's still going. And apparently, where he is now, I think he is in the Congo right now.
yeah. It's going through a coup.
There's a military coup, which again,
It's
so
actually just,
he's getting everything thrown at him, the poor lad, but he's still going, still running 60K a day when he
yeah.
can. So
I don't think he'll ever go to Africa again.
no, what a bloke. But yeah, and then talking about running, there was a Diamond League this past weekend where
Oh shit,
Goodaf
yeah,
Goodaf Sagai
go for
smashed.
it.
She smashed the women's 5,000 meters
Yeah,
by 5 seconds. She ran 5K in 14 minutes.
yeah.
That's a
It's just
joke.
bonkers to think about.
She smashed it by
Um,
5 seconds, the world record. That's silly. Absolutely
it's
silly.
disgusting. I mean, I'm gutted she didn't run under under 14 seconds. It was like 14 dead. But no, it's ridiculous. To beat it by 5 seconds, and
It's mad.
any world record like that is insane. I think the pole vaulter
Yeah.
also broke his own world record. Um, so yeah,
It's,
I do love it when a athletics world record gets broken.
talking about the pole vaulter, apparently he jumped 6 meters 23, and
Yeah,
the other competitors in that competition were struggling to jump 582. So he was nearly a
Jesus
half a
Christ!
meter ahead of the rest of the field in that competition, which is
Imagine
mad.
that.
He's mad to think about. So
How are you meant to win
exactly, there's
if
no
you've got to come up against that?
yeah. If you know he's competing, you might as well just not even bother. Like
Yeah.
silver medal
Well,
is your
he pretty much does. Like, I watched the what was it? It was doing the World Championships, and he was just jumping to break the world record at this point because he'd already won, and like he had a look back his past jumps. He did them all first try,
silly.
and then decided to go like, yeah, I'll go for the world record because
Yeah.
I'm already winning. That's
What a
just
joke. What a joke. But yeah,
That's domination.
that wraps up any other sports news. Do you have anything to add? Any golf or anything else?
Not at the moment. Ryder Cup hasn't started yet, so it's not that exciting yet.
When does that start?
I don't know. A few weeks.
A few weeks. Must be soon. I'm seeing stuff advertised for it. So
Yeah, yeah. So I think it's very soon, but that'll be exciting.
That'll be good. Champions League update score.
Still 3-1. We're getting dominated. Although Anana just made a very nice save.
Credit
save.
He finally made
from promoting.
I mean, that is possibly one of the weirdest signings.
Underrated striker.
Like he went from Stoke to
Stoke's very own.
He's a Stoke to PSG.
Bayern Munich. Yeah, Stoke to PSG to Bayern.
What a career path. You'll be happy with that, wouldn't you?
I would be, yeah. Can you imagine? From Stoke to winning leagues every single year.
What a guy. But yeah, if you've got nothing else to add, we'll leave it there. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the weekend of sport when it comes. Come on, England in the rugby. And then yeah, we'll catch you again next time, I suppose. So
yeah,
in a bit.